Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So, how is your preparation going on, everyone? So, welcome to the last lap of MAH CET MBA 2022. Okay, we will be doing algebra today. Okay. So, in the last class, we have done arithmetic, if you guys remember, right? So today we'll be doing algebra. We are going to look at the basics and then we will be looking at questions. We will see how easily we can solve questions using options. Can we use unconventional methods to, solve questions, which is very much in numbers when it comes to exams like MAH CET. Right. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. It's stressful, Varsha. Is it? Is it really? Take it easy. You don't want to be stressful during your exam day, right? So chill. Yeah, good evening, everyone. So fine, let's begin. So what is the relevance of algebra or the weightage of algebra in MAH CET, right? So it comes under the area of quantitative aptitude, right? The sub area is algebra, of course, and the weightage is somewhere around, on an average, you can say 10 to 15%. Okay, 7% to 18% is based on the previous years. So 10 to 15% would mean that, let's say out of 5 questions, you may have, let's not take 5. Let's take out of every 10 question, you are going to have, 1 question or maybe 2 questions. So that is around the weightage. Okay. Algebra is very important. Why is it important? Because the other topics, whether it is arithmetic, numbers, geometry, you do write equations and you use variables, right? So whenever you do write equations and use variables, you are actually using algebra in one way or the other, right? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Quant is difficult. Okay, we will see, Varsha. We will see. So what are the topics under algebra equation that we are going to do today? So linear equation in 1, 2 or 3 variables. Okay. Quadratic equations, very, very important. Okay. Functions and graphs that come under algebra. Log, extremely important. Progression, sequences and series, again, very important. So out of all of these, you will find quadratic, log, progressions. These 3 are extremely important. The other 2 are also, but not to the extent that these 3 topics, subtopics are. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And then you have got identities. So identities alone generally do not come. They are very rare. So identities along with progressions, identities along with quadratic, identities along with linear equation in 1, 2 or 3 variables. So it's a combination that you get. Okay. So let's look at the important formula. Okay. So the basic algebra formula is a plus b whole square gives you a square plus 2ab plus b square. Everybody is aware of that, right? If you put minus before it, you get a minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. A plus b whole cube gives you a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. A minus b whole cube gives you a cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square minus b cube, right? A cube plus b cube can be written as a plus b, a square minus ab plus b square. So whenever you write an expression as some bracket into some bracket, these brackets are called factors. So we say that a plus b is a factor of a cube plus b cube. Or a square minus ab plus b square is also a factor of a cube plus b cube, right? Similarly, if you have a cube minus b cube, you get these 2 factors. Okay. Now, a square minus b square, we have 2 factors, a plus b and a minus b, one of the easiest factorizations. And if you have a plus b whole square plus a minus b whole square, you get 2 times a square plus b square, which is like summing the first 2, right? If you have minus between them, you just get 4ab. You don't get a square and b square combination. And if you have a plus b whole square, you get a square plus b square plus c square plus 2 times ab plus 2 times bc plus 2 times ca. Okay, so this is kind of important because the others we are already aware of. Hai na? Now this is also very important. A cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc can be written as a plus b plus c as the first factor. The second factor is written as a square plus b square plus c square minus ab minus bc minus ca. This can also be written as a plus b plus c as the first factor and the second factor as half of a square minus, half of a minus b whole square plus half of b minus c whole square plus half of c minus a whole square. Same thing. As in, I can rewrite the second factor like this. Now, this is one important thing. Using this, a lot of questions are asked in all the exams. Okay. If a plus b plus c is equal to 0, suppose if this factor is 0, so 0 into anything will result in 0. That means the LHS is also 0. And if the LHS is 0, you get a cube plus b cube plus c cube is equal to 3abc. Okay. Okay. Linear equation. A linear equation, if you have two equations of the form a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0 and then a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0, then you get unique solution when the ratio of the coefficients of x is not equal to the ratio of the coefficients of y. Second is you get no solution if the ratio of the coefficients of x, y and the constant term, they are not equal to each other. Okay. And finally, you get infinite solutions if the ratio of the coefficients of a1, a2, b1, b2 and c1, c2 as in constant terms, they all are equal. So here should be an equal to. By mistake, it's not equal to. So there should be an equal to. So the coefficient ratio should be equal for x and y. It should not be equal to c1 upon c2. So what do we mean by this? Suppose you get an equation like this. Let's say 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 and then you are given 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. And now if you have to solve this, the thing is, sometimes in order to solve a particular question, we spend a lot of time, right? So especially the simultaneous linear equations. So before solving, can we just have a glance through it and even figure it out before solving that if it's possible to even solve it or not? बाद में time क्यों waste करें? पहली बार देख लो, possible है तो go ahead and solve it. If it's not possible, don't solve it. So what you will realize is the coefficient of x is same as coefficients of y, which is not same as coefficients of, they are not coefficient but the constant terms. So when this happens, you are not going to get any solution. So don't even waste your time solving it. क्यों करना है? Right? If you are given something like 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 and let's say 6x plus 9y is equal to 21, and if you are asked to solve this, so ratio of the coefficients of x is same as ratio of the coefficients of y, which is same as the ratio of the constant term. क्यों waste कर रहे? नहीं solve होगा ना? You will have infinite solutions. So when do we solve simultaneous linear equations? When this happens. X coefficients is not same as the ratio of y coefficients. Bindya? No worries, practice. Maths, the only way to master maths is practice. Hours and hours of practice. I'm not saying sit for 10 hours in a day, but you sit down and practice different types of questions from different topics of maths consistently with patience. Okay. Quadratic equation. This is now important. So If you have to find the roots of a quadratic equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, normally you will be given that a is not 0, because if a is 0, it is not quadratic anymore. You know? So the roots are given as minus b, so you see the b part, plus minus under root b square minus 4ac, where a and c are these values. Okay, a is the coefficient of x square, c is the constant term, upon 2a, right? Next is, how do you form an equation if the roots are given, right? So it is given as x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots equal to 0. Matlab, if it is given that 2 and let's say 5 are roots of a quadratic, then what is the quadratic equation? So it will be x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots, and that will be equal to 0, right? Which will result in x square minus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. And this is your equation. So if you are given the equation, you can figure out the roots. If you are given the roots, you can figure out the equation. The next one is how do you calculate sum of the roots and product of the roots? So sum of the roots is given as minus b upon a, and product of the roots is given as c upon a. So minus b upon a, put a minus sign before it, and then c upon a. Okay. Next is nature of roots. Now this is only used whenever the question is about are the roots real, are the roots imaginary. So there is one term which is known as discriminant, which is given as b square minus 4ac. So if the discriminant is non-negative, so there are two possibilities. Either it will be positive or it will be 0. If it is positive, the roots are real and distinct. And if it is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. Okay. And if discriminant is less than 0, you get imaginary roots. Conjugate का मतलब होता है, if one root is of the form a plus ib, the other root will be of the form a minus ib, and here b should not be 0. B is not going to be 0. So I should be writing it above, because I think you guys won't be able to see this. So if one root is of the form a plus ib, the other root will be the form a minus ib, where b is not going to be equal to 0, right? Okay, how many questions are expected from algebra? Radhika asks. So Radhika, see, algebra is not a standalone topic, right? Algebra is like the base on which arithmetic also stands, geometry also stands. Anything where you use equations and variables is algebra. So ऐसे specifically algebra को figure out करना मुश्किल है. But हाँ, there are certain topics, subtopics in algebra which are unique to algebra. For example, logarithm, sequences and series. You may have solved questions on time and work which are based on sequences and series. Time and work is from arithmetic. Sequences and series from algebra. So they two are mixed, right? So if I look at these specific types of questions of algebra, you can expect somewhere around 15 to 20% of the total questions. Okay. No, Varun, algebra is not going to be similar to CAT level for MAH CET. It's going to be LOD 1 or max 2. So whatever is the level of difficulty for CAT 1 and 2 level, that's the max you will get in MAH CET. Okay. Okay. The next one is log. Very important. Very, very important. If you guys haven't done log yet, please do it. Okay, make sure that you are able to solve all the questions on log. So what all things do we have in log? The first is, if you have product of numbers within the log, so you can write that as sum of logs. The base should not change, it should be same. Okay. The second is, if you see two numbers written as division, you can write them as difference of logs and the base shouldn't change. The next one is, if you have a power on the value, that power comes in the front and it gets multiplied with the leftover log. The next one is if you have power on the base, then that comes in the front and it gets divided. And the power on the value will also come in the front, but it will get multiplied. अभी देखा ना, third वाले में if the power is on the value, it gets multiplied. If you have a power on the base, it gets divided. Okay. The next one is, okay. So the next one is if you have log a to the power log b. Okay, so that part is already written. So log a to the base a is 1 and log 1 to the base a is always 0. So these are the two identities. So whenever you have log something to the base same thing, you have the value as 1, and whenever you have log 1 to the base same thing, it is 0. Okay. Oh yeah, this one. And the sixth one, this is important. What is this about? That if you are given a value, let's say 3, and the power is, let's say, log 7 to the base 8, kuch number hai idhar ko. What you can do is, you can interchange 3 and 7. Your answer is not going to affect. Okay, so you can write 7 here and you can take 3 above. They are the same thing. Okay, so you can interchange a and b. See, b comes as the base, a becomes the value of the log, so they can be interchanged. Okay, log ka weightage sankalp, there is always at least one question of log that you can expect in every exam. Okay, at least one question. Okay, next one is progressions. Arithmetic progression. The general term of an AP is given as Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. So let's understand this. First term is given as a, second term is given as a plus d, third term is given as a plus 2d, fourth term is given as a plus 3d. Do you see a pattern in the numbers written? If we have written 3 here, बाजू में इधर में 2d है. If we have written 4 here, there is a 3 here. So if I ask you what will be the, let's say, 9th term, a plus how many times of d? Right, it's going to be a plus 8 times of d. Okay, vice versa. Suppose if we have a plus 21d, which term is it we are talking about? If it is a plus 21d, then which positioned term from left are we talking about? Since it is 21, तो इधर में एक ज़्यादा होना चाहिए 22nd, right? Because if you go from left to right, if you have written 22, d should be multiplied with a value less than it. Same thing is over here. If we have written n here, d should get multiplied by a term, by an expression 1 less than n. 1 less than n means n minus 1, right? Right. Second is, how do we calculate sum of n terms of an AP? So it is given by two formulas. The first one is n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. And the second one is n by 2 into a plus l. L here means the last term. And a, as usual, always it means the first term. Okay. So you take the first term, you take the last term, add them and multiply it by n by 2. Okay. So a is the first term, d is known as the common difference, n is called the number of terms, l is called the last term of that series that we are talking about. Okay. The next one is geometric progression, right? So what is the geometric progression? Geometric progression is given as, if you start with a number, let's say 5, and if you multiply it by 2, you get a 10. You again multiply it by 2, you get a 20. You again multiply it by 2, you will get 40, and this series continues. The number that you started with is given by A. The number that you are multiplying with is given as R. So its general term is given as AR to the power n minus 1. So n minus 1, the entire thing is to the power of R. It is not on the power of A. A is alone. A का power 1 है और R का power n minus 1 है. So if I ask you what is the fourth term of a GP, general format, so we will say AR cube. If I ask you what is the sixth term, so you will say AR to the power 5. If I ask you what is the 10th term, so you will say AR to the power 9. Again, here is a pattern. So whatever we are writing here as the subscript of T, उससे एक कम नंबर उधर पावर में आर के. So if you want to figure out what is the 51st term of a GP, then the general format will be AR to the power 50, right? And वापस करें अगर, if I tell you that AR to the power 18 is which term from the left of a GP? If the power is 18, then which term are we talking about? Right, good. 19th term. So you can see that whatever number we are writing here, you have one less than it, है ना? So if you have written n here, the power is going to be n minus 1. Okay. How do you calculate sum of n terms of a GP? Sum of n terms of a GP is given by a formula which is given as a into 1 minus r to the power n upon 1 minus r. So the powers, the PPT is, acting weird. The powers have dropped down sometimes. Okay, if r is less than 1 and if r is greater than 1, you interchange it. Okay, so I'm going to move a bit so that you can see the next one. R should not be equal to 1 in both these cases. Of course, when we say r is less than 1, so r is not equal to 1, and when r is greater than 1, r is not equal to 1, right? Right. Sum of infinite terms of a GP is given as a upon 1 minus r. Should have written minus a. What is r? Positive or negative? It's none of our concern. Okay, so I'll move a bit. थोड़ा साइड हो जाता हूँ चेयर लेके. Okay, so sum of infinite terms of a GP is given as a upon 1 minus r. Okay, the value of r should be less than 1. This is what we write. Magnitude of r as in whether r is positive or negative doesn't matter. R should lie between minus 1 and 1. That's what mod of r less than 1 means. Okay. So this is like we are trying to learn a language. जैसे इंग्लिश सीखा था बचपन में, you were learning ABCD. At that moment, you had no idea why you are learning ABCD. Slowly and gradually, you came to know that you have to form words, you have to read passages, articles, stories, addresses, and so on and so forth. You will have to know how to write your name and all that, right? Same thing. Abhi अपन practice, as in we are learning the basics, as in ये formula, that formula, this is the identity, and all. Now we will have to come down to equations, as in questions. So the first question is, find the value of k in the quadratic equation kx square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0, such that one root is 4 times the other. I'll give you guys exactly a minute, 1 minute for every question. Okay, and then we will discuss. Your time starts now. Try using options. ऑप्शन से k की वैल्यू पुट करो and see what are the roots you are getting. Are the roots such that one root is 4 times the other? Okay, don't use sum of the roots, product of the root, discriminant, blah blah. मतलब वो जो सीखा हमने अभी इसके पहले ABCD, they are not that relevant. So unorthodox method, right? Unconventional methods we are using. We are going to use. कॉम्पिटिटिव में if you write on each and every step तब तो बहुत टाइम लगता है, right? So let's see. Put in the option, first option, second option, third option, fourth option, and so on and so forth. Om has answered delta. Novice Gaming, a new gaming channel now, has answered 1. Is that first option or is it B? So rather use ABCD, because if you write 2, so I will not have any idea as in you are saying 2 or second option, right? So ABCD लिखने का. Okay. So if I use the options, okay, I will get B very quickly. Okay. Because if I put 1 over here, I will have x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0, which will result in x minus 1 into x minus 4 equal to 0. That will result in x is equal to 1 and 4. Hai na? The moment I get 1 and 4, I know that one root is 4 times the other. So 1 makes sense. Instead of this, if you want to solve it normally, you will have to write sum of the roots. Generally, roots are given by the symbols alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta, and so on. Okay. Sum of the roots is given as minus b by a, and product of the roots is given as c by a. And if one root is 4 times the other, so alpha ki jagah 4 beta likho, put that in the next one. So a lot of steps will be involved, right? So not a good approach. Not saying that's a wrong approach, but we have a better approach. Use the options. Very good. Everyone has answered B except for one of you. Okay. So 1 is your answer. Next question. The least integer p, which makes the root of the equation imaginary. The moment, abhi thode der pehle discuss kara, like 10 minutes ago. Whenever in a quadratic, it is about if the root is real or imaginary, what do you do? Right? What part do you use from whatever we have discussed? You have to use that. Vishnu's question is, in place of x, we can put the number and solve. We can put the number and solve, Vishnu. Did not understand that part. If you are implying that I have to put 1 instead of x and I'll get the answer, that is pure coincidence. What if the two roots were 7 and 28? तो 1 put करने से k की वैल्यू 7 तो नहीं आएगी, right? Varsha, which part of whatever we discussed today has to deal with imaginary roots? Use it. Let's see how many of you can solve this. Adventure in you. So I'm getting options as alpha and delta, 17 and 20. These are the two options I am seeing. Okay, so imaginary roots happens to be when discriminant is less than 0. And what is discriminant? Discriminant is given as b square minus 4ac is less than 0. है ना? So what is the value of b over here? The value of b is 8. 8 square minus 4. What is the value of a? 1. What is the value of c? P. This should be less than 0. So you can say that 8 square should be less than 4p, which is nothing but 64. So p should be greater than 64 by 4, which is 16. So p is an integer, right? It's given. P is an integer that should be greater than 16. So greater than 16, you have got infinite integers, 17, 18, 19, 20, and so on. But out of those integers, you have to figure out the least one. So which is the smallest integer more than 16? 17. Right? All you have to do was compare what is A, what is B, and what is C, and use this discriminant part. Got it, Varsha? I have no idea why people got 20 as the answer. Maybe some silly mistake you guys did. 64 by 4, 19 kar diya maybe, I don't know. Okay. So the answer is going to be 17. Okay. A lot of you answered it correctly. Very good. The next one. Now, this has to do with average ratios, right? If you read the question, there is a colon there, right? Colon means ratios ka question hai. But why is it given in algebra? Because of course you are going to use variables and equations, right? So all the word problems that you come across, they all are algebra. Doesn't matter from which topic they have chosen the question from. Poonam, the use of imaginary was because the question asked you to figure out imaginary, right? Roots they wanted to be imaginary, इसीलिए imaginary use किया. Had the question been real, तो real का condition use करते. Yes, Radhika, these are MAH CET questions only. Okay? Yeah. So back to this question. When roots will be equal, then we will use this formula. When roots will be equal. When roots are equal, then it means that b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. You will use that condition when discriminant is equal to 0. Okay, Priya? So there are three conditions on discriminant, no? Greater than 0, equal to 0, less than 0. Greater than 0 means different roots. Equal to 0 means same roots. And less than 0 means imaginary roots. Vice versa, imaginary पूछ रहे तो less than 0 check करो. If they're asking you equal roots, equal to 0 check करो. If they're asking you different roots, greater than 0 check करो. Right? Novice Gaming has a question how to solve the previous question, question number 2 using options. So for that, Novice Gaming, you have to be very confident with quadratic. Okay. So let's solve this one and then I'll go back to question number 2. So everyone is saying that the answer is C. Okay. I don't know what you guys have done. What is the age of Sudha? 5x. 5 के table का कोई number? What is the age of Usha? 6x. So what is their total age? 11x. Means their total age should be in the table of 11. The only option which is in the table of 11 is option C. Common sense. We did a similar question before also, right? Where we looked at the, the number should be in the table of that, the number should be in the table of that, and so on and so forth. So ratios के question को ऐसे solve करते हैं जल्दी. Otherwise, you write down each and every step, all the equations, all the variables. Right? Okay, let's go back to question number 2 and see how can we solve this question using options. Okay, Novice Gaming. So Novice, it says the least integer p, which will make the root of the equation imaginary. So Novice, which is the least integer out of these options? We will start from there. So which is the least integer? 17. तो अपन 17 put करेंगे. So if I put 17 instead of p, this is what I will get. Okay. Will you be able to factorize it? So this is where your practice on quadratic and factorizing it is going to be helpful. So if you're quick at it, if you're practiced enough, you can very quickly factorize it, or you'll be like, nahi ho raha, nahi ho raha. Can you factorize it? No. Okay. Since you can't factorize it, तो इसके imaginary roots हो गए. And 17 becomes your answer. Suppose if you are able to factorize it, suppose one of the options was 15, and if you started with 15, so can you factorize 8 into 2 parts so that the product is 15? कर लोगे ना भाई, 3 and 5. So this won't be your answer. Move to the next smaller value. 15 is the smallest. Move to the next smaller value, मतलब 15 से बड़ा value. Next one was 17. फिर 17 check करेंगे. Because the kind of questions they will give you, they will not give you irrational roots का tension. You will have proper factorization and easy ones. I hope it was helpful, Novice Gaming. If you want to use options, this is how you will go about it. Okay. So the answer is 44. Okay. Next question. 6 toffees, 6 candies and 9 chocolates cost 350. 11 toffees, 4 candies and 6 chocolates also cost the same. Find the cost of 42 toffees. I really want you guys to take the pen, throw it away so that you can solve questions faster. We have this mentality, wrong mentality, that pen is our friend and it helps us solve questions. No, the kind of level you guys are at right now, pen is actually slowing you down. If you use common sense, you can solve this question very quick, like 5 seconds. Okay? But if you are going to use pen, you are going to take most probably 2 to 3 minutes. So I really want to see who can answer it first and fastest. Then Gaurav sir is very far from me. Okay, very good. A lot of you were able to answer this. Bravo. Bravo as in option B, bravo, and bravo to you guys as well. Right? If you have to find the cost of 42 toffees, can I say my answer will be in the table of 42? 42 is made up of what? 7, 6 and so on. So final answer 7 ki table ka hoga na? Because you are multiplying 7 into something. Which option is in the table of 7? 700. Common sense. Right? Otherwise, what we will have to do is, we will have to write down each and every step. 6 toffees plus 6 candies plus 9 chocolates is equal to 350. 11 toffees plus 4 candies plus 6 chocolates is equal to 350. So we have to figure out the value of 42 toffees. So what you will do now is you will multiply this by 2, you will multiply this equation by 3 and subtract. So if you subtract, you will have 33t minus 12t. 33t minus 12t is going to be 21t. And then you will have 12c minus 12c is vanishes, it's 0. 18c minus 12c, it also vanishes. Okay, chocolate ko ch le lete hain, sorry. Otherwise, we will have repetition of variable. 3 into 350 minus 2 times 350 is 350. But we wanted 42 toffees. So, isko 2 se multiply karo. So that you get 42 toffees here. So that you get 700 here. It took little more time than by using common sense, which said that If I have to figure out price of 42 toffees, my answer should be a number in the table of 7 because 42 में 7 आता है. तो 700 आंसर हो गया. So you need to decide which method would you like to take. Pen use करना है या without pen solve करना है. Right? Okay. Next question is based on log, and before you solve it, I want everybody to please do like. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Like logo, telling you simple methods, common sense based methods, right? Please do like. Varsha, we check a typical prime number actually. 6 is not a prime number. 7 is a better prime number, right? So इसीलिए उसको use करा. It's also see, it will not always work out. But since it is MAH CET, it will work out. It may not work out in a more difficult exam. Okay. Normally, the kind of questions they form is such that the price of any toffee, any chocolate, any apple is not going to be a fraction in such questions. Right? So, ऐसा नहीं है कि एक chocolate का cost will be 11 by 7 rupees. So, 7 chocolates का cost will be 11 rupees. Because in that sense, 7 के table का number नहीं बना. 11 is not in the table of 7. So it may happen in certain cases, but the exam that you are targeting at, it won't happen. So you can use it. Okay. Varun, prefer the higher prime number. That's what I'm saying, no? Prefer the higher prime number. So if you have to see 11 into 13, suppose 143 के table का number you are looking at. 143 is made up of 11 and 13. So try 13. Actually 11 will also not be bad. But if you have to see for 3 and 11, prefer 11. Search the options which are in the table of 11. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Huh. So what would be the answer? I see couple of you answering B as in Bravo. Couple of you answering Alpha. Not couple, just one so far. Om has answered Alpha. What about others? So combination of Bravo, Delta as in B, D and so on. Right? Okay. So how are we going to solve this question? We have to figure out the value of y, right? Okay. So what I am going to do right now is, there may be a lot of different ways. Using the option is not going to simplify us because every option is a log. We will have to use pen and write it down, right? So I believe the easiest way would be to do this. Can we write the RHS, which is 36 to the power log 3 to the base 2? Remember the sixth property of log that we did today? I can interchange 36 and 3, na? No problem. So can I write 3 here and take 36 above? Okay. Next is, if you guys would know, 36 can be written as 6 ka square. And what happens if you have a power on the value? It comes in the front. Right? And it gets multiplied with whatever log part we are left with. So 6 square cut power 2, that comes in the front and it gets multiplied with this. Right? So can we write it like this as 9? So okay, instead of writing 9, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as 3 square whole to the power log 6 to the base 2. I hope everybody knows that 2 to the power 3 whole to the power 4 is same as 2 to the power 3 into 4. तो उल्टा भी कर सकते हैं. If two things are multiplied, I can bring one of them within a bracket and the other part above the bracket. Right? Now, this is nothing but 9 to the power log 6 to the base 2. Hai na? Okay, now I have something from the RHS which looks very similar to the LHS. So, can I say 9 to the power y plus 1 is same as 9 to the power log 6 to the base 2? If the bases are same, you will compare the powers. They are equal, no? So, can we say y plus 1 is equal to log 6 to the base 2? Or we can have y is equal to log 6 to the base 2 minus 1. And instead of 1, I'll prefer writing log 2 to the base 2. Right? And this changes to, I'm writing it above, log 6 by 2 to the base 2 using the second property that we discussed today. You know? If you are dividing things, they become minus of logs, vice versa. If you have minus of logs, divide the values. So this will result in log 3 to the base 2. Log 3 to the base 2 is your option number B. Bravo option. Very good. Everyone, not everyone, but most of you have answered bravo. Very good. Okay. So this is what it struck me. Maybe somebody else may have used a different method, because log questions you can solve in a lot of different methods. It depends what is your next step, Okay. So B is your answer. Okay. Very good guys. Okay, another question on log. Unfortunately, for log questions, you will have to use a bit of pen. Okay, because you don't have one log, you have 3 logs, 4 logs, powers are in the log. So it becomes a little complicated, but very much doable. That's why I just, love this subtopic logarithm, because all I have to do is remember few things, and then there is not a single question that I can never answer. So it's like कि मेरा एक question fixed है हर एग्जाम में, at least one question कि वो सही होना ही है. While giving some all India mocks, identifying questions on logs. Varun, they may not have given. Algebra is a part of MAH CET syllabus, right? If algebra is a part, it means anything from algebra can come, which comes up to standard, if I say 10th standard or 11th standard, because algebra is majorly a part of 11th and 12th, right? Age-based questions we can solve by options and elimination. Yes, Priya, of course we can. Don't worry, we have more questions to solve. You guys will have an idea. Let's see how many of you could solve this. It's not lengthy. You will have to use, I think, only 1 or 2, max 2 properties that we discussed today. Max 2. Maybe एक से ही हो जाएगा solve. Which one? That's what you have to figure out. So log questions are more like puzzles. क्या use करना है इसमें? It may be one thing, it may be more than one. No worries, Sushmita. I'll tell you. We are going to discuss the solution. So I'm getting the options as delta so far. Okay. Very good. I think it's delta because this is 5 to the power 5. Did you guys know this? 5 to the power 5 is 3125. The other values are not 5 to the power anything. Those are some random numbers. But 3125 is a special number which can be written as 5 to the power 5. So let's see if D is the answer or if is it something else. So what do you do is, if you have a plus between logs, can you bring the x's together? Yes, you can. But for that first, you need the bases to be same, but we don't have the same base. प्रॉब्लम यहां है. So what we are going to do is we are going to leave this as such. इसको अपन ऐसे ही छोड़ेंगे. The next log x to the base 25, we are going to write this as log x 5 square. What happens when you have a power on the base? It comes in the front and it becomes 1 by. आज ही करा है. It's not like पहले कभी करा है. Okay, the third one. Similarly, log x to the base 125 can be written as log x to the base 5 ka cube. What happens when you have power on the base? That 3 comes in the front and becomes 1 by 3. And you'll be left with just x and 5 in the base and x as the value. Similarly, can we write log x to the base 625 as log x to the base 5 to the power 4, which makes it 1 by 4 into log x to the base 5. Now, if I am going to add all of these 4, what am I going to get? I am going to get log x to the base 5, 1 plus 1 by 2. I am taking log x to the base 5 बाहर common निकाल लिया है ना. 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4, which is log x to the base 5 is equal to, into, if you take the LCM will be 12, and this is going to be 12 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3. Now what is 12 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3? That is 12 plus 10, 22 plus 3, 25. Okay. So what do we get is log x to the base 5 into 25 by 12 is given as 125 by 12. So 12 and 12 will cancel out. 25 into 5 is 125. So we get log x to the base 5 is equal to 5. Now what do you do? How do you get to the value x? You remove log. ये 5 दूसरे साइड जाता है और उस 5 को बोलता है चढ़ो ऊपर. Become the power. Get raised. So this 5 will come. This 5 come as the base. This 5 is going to become the power, and this is what you will get. Even if you have no idea which 5 is going to go where, it doesn't matter. 5 का power 5 तो होना ही है ना. Now 5 to the power 5 is nothing but 3125. So this is what the answer is. So everyone who has answered so far has given D, delta as the answer. Good. So delta is the answer. Okay. Next one, sequences and series and arithmetic progression. So in an AP that has 63 terms, the sum of the first 3 terms is 75. Sum of the middle 3 terms is 510. And you have to figure out the 8th term of this series. Be quick. We have more questions to solve. Sixty-three terms are there. First 3 is 75, middle 3 is 510. Middle 3, which would be the middle 3 terms? 1 to 63, which will be the middle 3? Middle 3, last ke 3 nahi, dhyan se. You have to figure out the 8th term of the series. Priya says delta, D option 75. We will see Priya. Roosters say again delta 75. Mega also says delta 75. Diluted Gaming also says D70. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि one person answers a particular option सब उसके पीछे पीछे, अबे सही ही होगा, इतनी जल्दी आंसर दिया है तो सही करा होगा उसने. Everyone is getting delta. Okay, so let's see if delta is the answer or not. So, in order to understand an AP and this question and other questions as well, I want everybody to write down 3 numbers which are in an AP. Don't write in the chat. Don't tell me. ठीक है? मेरे को मत बताओ. Write down random 3 numbers which should be in AP. It should be starting with 1. What is the common difference? Completely your choice. Your call. I'm not going to tell you anything. So write down 3 numbers. Suppose the first number you have written is A, the second number you have written is B, the third number you have written is C. Do you know that A plus B plus C, as in sum of these 3 numbers, will be 3 times of B? Did you know that? Sum of 3 numbers of an AP. First 3 nahi, koi bhi 3. You can write any terms of an AP, and if you take consecutive 3 terms, then in तीनों का sum will be 3 times of the middle value. Agreed, everyone? It's going to be true for everyone. If it's happening, if it's true for everyone, it means it's obvious. It's like a property. It's like a rule that should happen. Everyone is getting it? So I'm going to use this logic. If it is given that there are 63 terms and the sum of the first 3 terms is 75, can you tell me which term is this? Which term is this? Second wala term kitna hai? How much is it? Quick. 75 3 numbers का sum है. So what is every number? Assumption 25, 25, 25, right? So we can say this is 25. So second value is 25. It has to be. What is the first value? नहीं पता. What is the third value? No idea. Okay. So can I say the second term, which is A plus D, is 25? Can we write this? Yes, we can. Okay. Now this continues, and then we have, total 63 numbers are written over here, hai na? Total 63 numbers. So there are total of 63 numbers written here. So which would be the middle 3? So 63 में से एक हटा दो. There are 62 numbers. 62 का half करोगे 31 and 32. So you will get 31st number, 32nd number and 33rd number as the middle 3 numbers. Okay. So this is your first number. This is your 63rd number. So first number, 63rd number, first and last हो गया. Which would be the middle वाला? 32nd. उसके पहले 31st. उसके बाद वाला number 33rd number. The values are not 31, 32, 33. Okay. I'm talking about the position. 31st number, 32nd number, 33rd number. Shubham, we are not saying square. आधा कर रहे थे ना. It's an arithmetic progression, not half. 1/3 कर रहे थे ना. Okay. Now what is the sum given for these 3? 510. If the sum of these 3 numbers is 510, can you tell me which number do we have at the middle? In तीनों के बीच में, which number are we going to have if the sum of these 3 numbers is 510? Sushmita, the way to figure out the middle number is 1 plus 63 by 2. 32nd position. फर्स्ट पोजीशन एंड 63rd पोजीशन का, सॉरी, मिडिल पोजीशन विल बी 1 plus 63 by 2, 32nd position. So can I say each value is going to be, so middle value is going to be 170. The moment I write 170, this is your 32nd number, na? So can I say my 32nd number is A plus 31D, which is 170? Yes or no? This is your first, this is your second, and this is your third. Right? This sum was 75. So I'm writing this sum and the number in red and the positions in black. Right? Okay. Now what do we have to figure out? 8th term. अपन लोग को 8th term चाहिए, as in A plus 7D is what I want. This is our requirement. And this is what we know. In other words, this is what is given to us. Right? So एक काम करते हैं, let's do one thing. Let's solve this. If I subtract, can I say 30D is equal to 170 minus 25? What is 170 minus 25? 145. And can I say 6D is equal to 5 से divide करेंगे, I'll get 29. 14.5 का double is 29. Any doubts so far? I am not figuring out D, I am figuring out 60. Figure out कर लो 6D, you will get your answer. Okay. How will I get our answer from just 60? Can I write A plus 7D as A plus D plus 6D? Break कर दिया. Do we know what is A plus D? Do we know what A plus D is? 25. Do we know what 6D is? अभी solve करा. 29. 25 plus 29. What is your 8th term? So everyone was wrong. Varsha, which part? You answered no, 170. फिर minus किए ना वर्षा. If you subtract, ये equation solve करना है. So if you subtract A will cancel out. 31D minus D will give you 30D. 170 minus 25 will give you 145. So 6D will give you 29. इससे solve किया है वर्षा. Right? So your answer is going to be 54. हाँ Priya, I understand the question is lengthy. This is lengthy because I had to tell you few things before. Otherwise, the question was entirely from here to here. First 3 terms, sum is 75. So second term sum is 25. I will write the first equation. T2 is equal to A plus D is equal to 25. Sum of the middle 3 terms is 510. So 32nd term is going to be, that is A plus 31D is 170. And I will solve it and get the answer. So actually this had less number of steps than the previous log question. सिक्स ज्यादा बोल दिया. बड़े बड़े शहरों, सॉरी, बड़े बड़े क्वेश्चंस में छोटी मिस्टेक होती है. हाँ बिल्कुल होती है. और छोटे छोटे एग्जाम में कहीं से कॉल नहीं आता, ये भी होता है. So 54 is your answer. Okay. The next one, again very common sense based. 6 कैसे आया? वर्षा, you will get 6. 5 से डिवाइड करो ना from both the sides. 30 by 5 is 6. 145 by 5 is 29. I cancelled out common. 30 और 145 में 5 है ना, 5 हटा दिया मैंने. Normally people calculate D, मैंने D नहीं, I left it 60. क्योंकि D fraction आएगा. I don't like fractions. Nobody should. Right? No, roosters. Unfortunately, no shortcut for the previous question. Okay, let's quickly do this. It's a very common sense based question. Even if you don't use the pen, you will still get your answer. I hope everyone has liked subscription to abhi nahi, but I hope everyone has liked it. Like करो वीडियो. इतने अच्छे अच्छे शॉर्टकट्स बता रहा हूं. Find the common ratio of geometric progression whose first number is 120, last number is 3000, and sum of the series is 3720. See, you have to understand. जब क्वेश्चन पढ़ रहे हो, when you're reading the question, you have to console yourself that this question is easy. Every time you read a question and you're like, oh God, this is from a topic I never studied. This is from a topic that I'm not comfortable with. This is from a topic I'm not good at. वो गया. आसान सा आसान question भी गया. Even though a 7th standard or 8th standard kid will be able to do it, but you won't be able to do it. Shameful, isn't it? You know more than a 7th standard kid. Right? So it's a very, very simple. What are you guys giving the answer? Are you guys saying the options different than what I'm saying? Option A is 3, option B is 4, option C is 5, option D is 6, option E is 7. And majority of you are saying option B, 4 is the common ratio. Bhai sahab. 120 is the number. 3000 is the last number. I don't know how many numbers are in between. And sum of the series is 3720. So can you tell me, whatever numbers are written in between, what will be the sum of those numbers? If 120 is the first number, there are some numbers missing in between. The last number is 3000. And the sum of all these numbers is 3720. So can you tell me whatever numbers are missing, unka sum kitna hoga? If the sum of all the numbers from first to last is 3720. 600. 3000 plus 600 plus 120 is 3720. Hai na? Okay. Let's use options. 120 is your first number. Okay. So what I will do is I will use the next slide so that I have enough space. So 120 is your first number. There are certain numbers missing. The last number is 3000. The sum of these numbers should be 600 because the sum of everything is given as 3720. है ना? ठीक है. कितने numbers बीच में हैं? नहीं बताया. It's a puzzle for us. We have to figure it out. Okay, let's use the first option. If the first number is 120 and if the common ratio, as in multiply किससे करने वाले हैं, it's 3. So if you multiply it with 3, you will get 360. If you multiply it with 3, you will get 1080. If you multiply it with 3, you will get more than 3000. 3000 तो आया भी नहीं. A can't be your answer. Let's take B. If your common ratio is 4, so 120 into 4 is 480. 480 into 4 is 16. 1920. 1920 into 4 is going to be approximately 8000. 3000 to आया भी नहीं. 3000 चाहिए ना. 3000 is the last term. 4 can't be your answer. Let's try C. 120 का 5 times. 120 into 5 is 600. 600 का 5 times is 3000. आ गया ना जी. Everything matches. So C is your answer. How you are getting D as in D option कैसे आ रहा? 120 का 6 times is 720. 720 का 6 times is 4200 plus 3000 नहीं है लास्ट नंबर. 54637 इनसे मल्टीप्लाई करना था गाइस. 120 को मल्टीप्लाई करना था. एक छोटा सा कैलकुलेशन करना था. You guys must have must have got scared. We don't know how many terms are there, and तो भाड़ में जाए ना number of terms वगैरह. I know which number I have to begin. I can see the options. एक एक करके चेक करूंगा ना. Where will I stop at 3000? This is the only option where I will stop at 3000. Very few of you answered this. I was not expecting this. Come on, guys. Not simple though. Okay, next question. You guys may have done questions like this a lot, right? Where x plus 1 by x is given, you're asked to figure out what is x square minus 1 by x square, or maybe x minus 1 by x cube plus 1 by x cube. Sum is equal to Shubham says sum is equal to L minus A upon R minus 1 where R is the last term. Shubham क्यों यूज करना बताओ क्यों? आंसर सही आया? अगर आया तो ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट अगर आंसर नहीं आया तो do you think that formula is useful for you for that question? नहीं. So the moment you read a question, you should know the formula, but you should not apply it straight away आंख बंद करके. Try to see कि is there any alternative method? कुछ और कर सकते हो क्या? है ना? Come on, come on, come on. This is little lengthy, but you will have an idea as to how to solve questions like these. थोड़ा lengthy तो है, no doubt. Very good, Dhanshri. I mean, at least you gave answer so quick. I'm not saying the answer is correct, but at least you calculated something. That's good. Quick, we have to solve writing to 1, 2, 3. I think 3 questions or maybe just one more question. I'll have to check. Quick. So don't tell me the solution is lengthy. I've already given you a heads up. This solution is going to be lengthy. Such kind of questions, they are not so quick, so easy. Okay. And we are of course going to use the formulas that we did before. At the beginning of the class, we looked into 5 to 6 slides related to formulas, right? देखते हैं कौन सा आंसर है. Okay. So this is how you begin. You have a plus sign in the question given and the question that is asked. As in the given part may be plus है बीच में और asked part may be, right? So you will start like this. X plus 1 by x को you are going to assume that it is some value. कुछ तो है a. What is a? Don't know. This is what we are going to figure it out later on. Now if I square on both the sides, I will be getting x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 times x into 1 by x, which will give me a square. Or I will have x square plus 1 by x square. X and 1 by x में से दोनों x cancel हो जाएगा. I will get a square minus 2. है ना? I have so far reached at x square plus 1 by x square. And I have to reach to x to the power 4 plus 1 by x to the power 4. Okay. So I will again square it. If I again square it, I will have x square plus 1 by x square ka whole square, which will give me x to the power 4 plus 1 by x to the power 4 plus 2 into x square into 1 by x square. Since I have squared on the LHS of this, I am supposed to square on the RHS also, hai na? So a square minus 2 ka whole square. So again, x square will cancel out. So I will get x to the power 4 plus 1 by x to the power 4 is equal to a square minus 2 ka whole square and again a minus 2. So this is what I have reached at. Now, this part is already given to us as 194. Hai na? So can we say a square minus 2 ka whole square? If I take minus 2 to the other side, I will get 196. Next, I will get a square minus 2 is going to be, so since it is given that x is positive, so we will not take negative. X positive, 1 by x positive, तो a negative नहीं होगा ना, तो negative ignore करेंगे. So this is going to be 196 का square root is 14. Again, this minus 2 will go to the other side. You will get a square is equal to 16 and then we will take a is equal to 4. मतलब x plus 1 by x की value 4 थी as per the question. Okay. Then what is the next step now? The next step is I need to figure out what is x cube plus 1 by x cube. So x plus 1 by x say, how will you generate x cube plus 1 by x cube? That also we have seen today, right? We will cube on both the sides. So x plus 1 by x is equal to 4. So if I cube on both the sides, a plus b ka whole cube is given as a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b, right? And this is 64. This is what is asked. X and x will cancel out and this is nothing but 4. ये वापस से वही copy paste हो रहा है, right? So this is 4. So you will get x cube plus 1 upon x cube is equal to 64 minus, don't forget that 3. 3 cancel नहीं हुआ, 3 अभी भी है. 3 into 4 which is 12. 64 minus 12 will give you 52, which a lot of you were able to finally give the answer. You guys took time. I completely understand it's not something you can instantly do, but you got the answer. Good. शिवम कुछ खाते रहो, क्या दिक्कत है? मेरे को आवाज थोड़ी आएगी चबाने की. Have anything? Have your dinner? ऑनलाइन क्लासेस का यही मतलब है ना, अपना खाना खाते रहो, अपना पानी पीते रहो, अपना देखते रहो. Okay, so 52 is the answer. Good. Okay, next question. Factorize this. Factorize at the beginning, I told you, no? When you write some expression into bracket, then those brackets are called factorization. Those brackets are called factors and the method is called factorization. So which option will make sense? This question or the previous one? Diluted? People who are online and who haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do like and subscribe. If you want to attend more sessions and solve questions, you know methods, shortcuts, tricky ways to solve questions, please do subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get a notification next time we are going to have this session. So we're going to have Arithmetic, a second part also very soon. First part we have already done. So you can see it in the playlist for MAH CET 2022, right? Previous one. प्रीवियस वाला अब क्वेश्चन है तो है, अब क्या करें. ऐसे ही है डाइल्यूटेड गेमिंग. लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम आसान थोड़ी आता है, हर तरह का आता है. सेम इज मैथ्स. सो पीपल आर सेइंग बी सी सी बी. सो कंफ्यूजन बिटवीन बी एंड सी ना. ओके, सो व्हाट यू डू इज, if you multiply the x component, because when you will open the bracket, 2x and 2x will get multiplied, so you will get 4x square, hai na? But you have an x square, so a can't be your answer. X into x will give you x square, so b can be your answer. X into x will give you x square, so c can be your answer. 2x into x will give you 2x square, so d can't be your answer. X into 2x will give you 2x square, so e can't be your answer. Now between b and c, we need to figure out the other part. Okay? Then you will straight away go to the last component. Start from the left, then jump to the right, then go to the second left, then jump to the second right, because it's easier that way. So if you want to figure out which out of b and c is going to give you the last term as 42 mn, तो उसको चलो solve करते हैं. So when you are going to multiply 7m and 3n, 7m into 3n is 21 mn. And if you multiply these two, minus 3n and minus 7m, minus 3n and minus minus will become plus, so that will give you another 21 mn. 21 plus 21 is 42. So B can be our answer. Let's check for C. Minus 7mn, minus 7m, minus 4n. देखो m into n कब बनेगा? When you have one term of m and one term of n and you multiply them. वही कर रहे अपन. So you will have 28mn and 4n plus 7m. 4n plus 7n is another 7 into 4, 28mn. So this one will give us 56 mn. पर अपने को 56 थोड़ी चाहिए. We want 42. So B is your answer. So you don't have to open the entire brackets and figure out each and every term, because that's stupid. We are given options, we will use it. Okay, very good. A lot of you answered B. Right, Kaushal? Correct. True. Okay. So your answer is B. Okay, so just two more questions. Second last, एक और करेंगे बस. Okay. And don't run after when I'm done with the last question. I'll tell you the schedule as to which all sessions are going to happen. So stick. I know you guys must be hungry. Nayan, we have already done quadratic equations based questions in the beginning. You can watch the video at the first 30-35 minutes pe we started. Okay. Thank you, Diluted Gaming. It is about sync. So when you get in sync with a teacher or anyone, it's also about people around you, your friends, your relatives. एक बार sync बनता है, then of course you understand the person, right? बस sync की बात है. That's all I can ask, Om, right? I really can't hold you here. You are far away. All you have to do is press the shutdown button and you are gone. I can't really do anything. स्कूल में तो भाई क्लासरूम से निकल के दिखा दो. वॉशरूम के लिए भी कार्ड चाहिए होता था, याद है? Okay, Abhi has answered bravo. Okay. Let's see. Sanskar has answered E. Roosters is giving option में option. Rooster बोल रहा है B या E because इसके पहले somebody has answered B, somebody has answered E. तो Rooster बोल रहा है सर या तो वो वाला आंसर है या ये वाला है. बहुत बढ़िया. RB, I understand. It has been a long time since you have practiced and read all that, given exams in maths subject. So understood. Okay, so most of you are saying bravo is the answer. Let's check. So I'll tell you two methods to solve questions like these related to functions and if you have to figure out a value. The first method is a straightforward method. So if you are asked to figure out what is f of p by q, तो आप x की जगह you are going to write p by q and solve it. So if you solve it, you will get 2p divided by q minus 2p. Right? Q and q will cancel out from both the ends. Similarly, if you have to figure out what is f of q by p, the denominator part, you are going to write instead of x in both numerator and denominator as q by p, which will give you 1 minus 2 times of q by p, which if you solve will give you 2q divided by p minus 2q. अब next step क्या है? You're asked to figure out the division of this. When you figure out the division of this, 2 and 2 will cancel out and nothing else will cancel out. If you think something else cancels out, you are having some vision issue. You are assuming P or Q एक ही letter होता है. नहीं, they are two different letters. Nothing is common. Okay, so you will have this one will go in the numerator, this one will come in the denominator. So it will become P into P minus 2Q upon Q into Q minus 2P. Or you can take care of the negative sign in both numerator and denominator and generate one or more option. But we have only one option, which is E. Varsha, it's algebra only. It's like x है, x की जगह p by q लिखना है, दोनों side. The second approach will be assume some value for p and q. So assume, let's say p is equal to 1, q is equal to 2. ठीक है? So if I assume p as 1 and q as 2, or you can take p as 2, q as 1, p as 1, q as 100, आपको जो मन है वो ले सकते हो, ठीक है? कोई नहीं रोकेगा. So once you do it, so you have to figure out what is f of 1 by 2. F of 1 by 2 matlab this is 2 into 1 by 2 divided by 1 minus 2 into 1 by 2. So the problem over here is you will have denominator as 0, which you are not allowed to take. तो अपन एक काम करते हैं, माइनस 1 by 2 ले लेते हैं. ये लंबा चला जाएगा, एक काम करते रहने देते हैं, ठीक है? Let's leave it. You can also solve questions on functions by putting in the values, but this will go lengthier. So let's leave it. हाँ, had the proper solution been very long, तब वो value वाला would have been any day shorter. ठीक है? So this is, we'll leave it as such. So the answer is going to be E. कुछ तो right है. Okay, so the last question. This can be solved in two ways again. You can use equations, you can use common sense. Varsha, it's a part of algebra. In algebra, if you read functions, you will find such questions. Functions in algebra. Quick, 1.5 hours होने वाला है. That is good enough time. जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी. People who have not liked and subscribed, please do. So once we are done solving this question using, I'm not going to solve the equations. I'll just write down the equations for your convenience. And once we are done with it, you can go ahead and solve it. ठीक है? मेरा task नहीं है वो. Then I will tell you an alternate approach. If you miss out any particular word or statement in the alternate approach, revisit the video, देख लो कि लास्ट के कितने पार्ट में वी डिस्कस दिस. लिसन टू इट वेरी केयरफुली कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं. ईच एंड एवरी वर्ड इज गोइंग टू बी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज आई कैन सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन विदाउट यूजिंग पेन, without writing down anything. I will look at the question, I'm like, this is the answer. ऐसे 1 मिनट भी नहीं लगेगा मेरे को. Find the number of packets of pasta she buys. B, A, Pranay says A, Rooster says B, Sweetie says B. मतलब आप लोग का ऐसा हालत है ना अभी, स्पेशली इन द लास्ट फ्यू क्वेश्चंस, कि मतलब गलत भी मास गलत है. Normally what happens is the correct answer is given by majority of the people and the wrong options are given by either udhar, ikka dukka, somewhere, 1 or 2 people. At the end someone else will give some other option, not the right one. अभी इधर तो लाइन से सारे गलत दे रहे. Okay, let's see what the actual answer is. So Meena goes to a mart and buys P packets of pasta and Q eggs. The cost of each packet of pasta is 20.5 and the cost of each egg is 5.5. She spends 211 overall. The total number of items she buys is 22. Find the number of packets of pasta that she buys. Right? Straightforward question. Hai. So number of packets of pasta but number of eggs is 22. Now each packet of pasta costs 20.5. So 20.5 into P plus each egg costs 5.5. So 5.5 into Q. This total number is 211. I have to figure out what is the value of P. यानी कि Q को eliminate करना है. So how will I eliminate Q? I'll multiply this by 5.5, the entire equation. So that 5.5Q and 5.5Q minus करेंगे, गायब हो जाएगा. So 20.5 minus 5.5P will be 15P and not 14P is equal to 211 minus 111, right? यही आएगा ना? 22 into 5 is 22 into 0.5 is 11 and 110, 121, sorry. So P is going to be, 211 minus 121, subtract करना भूल गया, which will be 90. So if you solve, P is going to be 6. If P is 6, if this is 6, so how many packets of pasta she buys? अच्छा, pasta ही पूछा था, so P की value ही निकालनी थी, right? Is there any mistake that I made? Let me just verify once. 15P, 211, and that is 121. 121 and 211, they are 90 away. So 15P is 90, P is going to be 6. So this is 6, right? So this is equation wise. Because I skipped steps, so I have to be careful, right? Can I solve this question without writing down anything? Yes. So this is the approach. Listen carefully. एक काम करो, आंखें बंद कर लो. Okay, don't look because I'm not going to write down anything. So each packet of pasta costs 20.5 and each egg costs 5.5. And total item she buys is 22. Right? The total item that she buys is 22. तो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं? All 22 are eggs only. सारे eggs हैं. So if one egg costs 5.5, the next egg costs 5.5, the third egg costs 5.5. ऐसे सारे 5.5 के होंगे. Then 22 eggs at the cost of 5.5 rupees per egg will cost how much money for her? It's going to be 121 rupees. Right? 22 into 5 is 11. Sorry, 22 into 5 is 110 and 22 into 0.5 is 11. 110 plus 11 is 121. So 121 rupees usne kharcha kara. Okay. Now what Meena does is she takes one egg and she gives to the shopkeeper. And she's like, bhaiya, ye egg nahi chahiye, give me a pasta. So how much more will she have to pay? अगर वो egg की जगह पास्ता लेना चाहती है तो how much more is she going to pay? Every time she returns an egg, तो 5.5 तो उधर already paid है, and a pasta costs 20.5. So how much more is she going to pay? 5.5 plus what is 20.5? That's the extra money she is going to pay. This is like shopping. You guys have done shopping, bought things from the shop, right? So how much will that be? 15 rupees. ठीक है. So how many should she return the eggs, and instead of those eggs she should get pasta, so that she has to pay 90 more rupees, because the total amount is 211. So 121 plus 90 is 211 na. तो मेरे को 90 rupees, not मेरे को, Meena has to pay 90 rupees, so that she has to pay with every exchange 15 rupees. Next exchange another 15 rupees. So how many pasta will she get in return of those many eggs, so that she ends up paying 211? 6. So even though I have written it down, but this is like a story. So if you rewatch the video, this part of this question solution, by closing your eyes and trying to visualize that you are Meena and this is the kind of shopping you are doing, you will realize that yes, such kind of questions are relatively easier to solve without using equation. Okay. So the answer is 6. Okay. Now very important, don't run away. Ruko. So we are going to have more sessions. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to have the session encoding, decoding and blood relations by Gaurav sir. Okay. On Monday we are going to have RC. Okay. Part 1. So there will be more parts. So part 1 by Savitri ma'am. On Monday, or sorry, on Tuesday, that is 9th of August, I'll be taking your arithmetic part 2 again. On 11th, Thursday, Gaurav sir is again going to take your DI, which is the arrangements and DI. So DI based arrangements, okay, which is important. Okay, since it's written game changer, matlab, it will help you solve questions very quick. He will tell you a lot of shortcuts. And the next day after that, next Friday, you will have a session by Nikita ma'am, which will be critical reasoning, which is also very important. She will tell you the shortcuts and tricks. ऐसे क्वेश्चन में फंसते हो ना, syllogism के questions, if this happens then that happens, if and only if. So all those tricks and tricks she is going to tell you. Okay, very important, because if you know those tricks, you can solve questions very quick. Okay, also right after your MAH CET exam is done, please don't forget to join us for a proper detailed analysis of the exam. It's going to be from August 23rd to 25th. We will share you the timing for that later on. And don't forget to subscribe, follow and like us on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. Please do join our Telegram channel, okay, which is BYJU'S MBA Doubts if you haven't, because tons of students send us the doubts over there. And the faculties are added. So the moment you send the doubts, one or the other faculty or some other student help you out with the doubts very quickly. So you don't have to wait for someone to come and clear your doubts. वो उधर बहुत जल्दी होता है. There are thousands of people over there. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone. Nayan, you will get your timing. So you keep on attending these MAH CET sessions that we have brought for you. Okay. चलो एवरीवन, टेक केयर, गुड नाइट. लाइक करके जाना, एक बार, 2 बार क्लिक मत करना बटन, एक बार. ओके, बाय बाय.